Picture this. You're a fan of a series and they won't make a game that you so desperately want. So one day, you just have the urge to go,
fine. I'll do it myself.
And then you learn about game development and the hell and suffering it brings, and boom. You just made a fan game. Or you went on GameJolt or something and looked for Sonic fangames. Fangames! The creator won't make a game you want, so instead you gotta leave it to the fans to do what these companies don't. Fangames are, well, games about a certain series made by fans. There are so many fan games from a variety of franchises. So in this video, I'll be taking a look at a few fan games that I found that were pretty neat and that I was interested in, and see how they do as actual games. So, let's get started. First up is the 1-1 challenge, which takes the idea of what if Mario was a first-person shooter and runs with it. There's no guns or gore or anything. It is really what you would expect from a Mario FPS to be like. Now sadly there's only one level and there's not much to do other than to get the 9 red coins that are scattered around the level, and of course get to the flagpole at the end. There is this extra area in the back that looks explorable, but to my knowledge you can't go over there, which is a bit disappointing. 1-1 challenge is a nice, short and fun experience and feels like something Nintendo would make if they ever made a Mario first person shooter. So this is the game for you if you want your Mario FPS fix. Mario? How do you say this? Is a remake of Super Mario Bros. Except you have the portal gun from, Portal. And it works exactly like you would expect it to. You can play through the entirety of Super Mario Bros. Just with the portal gun. However, there are extra levels that are themed around the test chambers from Portal, with you needing to solve puzzles to complete each test chamber, just like the games. And even the mechanics from the Portal games are here and work as expected, which is really cool. It's an interesting way of replaying Super Mario Bros. I'd say the main selling point to this game would be the Mario-styled Portal test chambers. Super Mario Bros. Remastered is a full-on remake of Super Mario Bros., which massively overhauls the game to be similar in style to Super Mario Maker. And since the style is the same, the worlds have different themes and music, which are all from Super Mario Maker, which makes the game nice and fresh. There is a lot of customizability too. You can make the game as modern or as classic as you want, even though OBS won't let me play the game in widescreen. Now, not only can you play through the original Super Mario Bros., but you can also play through the lost levels as well, and even the obscure Super Mario Bros. Special. And what's this? All Night Nippon is included too, which was an exclusive version of Super Mario Bros. Which changed the sprites to be based on the All Night Nippon radio show in Japan. That's really cool. And if you don't want to play through the main games, then You vs. Boo from Super Mario Bros. Deluxe is here and works just as you expect. Oh, and to keep me from drawing more comparisons to Mario Maker, you have the ability to make your own levels, and it feels like you have more freedom than Super Mario Maker, but it's not as user-friendly unfortunately. Oh, and not only can you make custom levels, but you can also have custom texture packs and characters, which is neat. Also, as I was recording footage, I unintentionally played through the entirety of Super Mario Bros. 1. So here is a time-lapse of me playing through the entire game because I just thought it was funny. I only expected to play through World 1 and 2, so yeah. Super Mario Bros. Remastered is the definitive version of Super Mario Bros. In my opinion. However, if you do plan on playing this yourself, then you're going to need to have an NES ROM of Super Mario Bros. That's actually why I almost never included SMB for this video, but I decided to in the end, because this is a really cool game, and also, I don't think Super Mario Bros. Was made with Godot when Godot didn't even exist in 1985. Mario and the Rainbow Stars is one of the best fan games I've ever played, as it's a brand new take on 2D Mario. But Mario also has a companion, being Starry, who can be thrown to activate blocks in walls and defeat enemies, and even hit the question mark clouds from the Yoshi's Island games. Yeah, those are in this game, along with a unique story and new and interesting characters. There is a lot of fan service to the RPG games just by the story and the new characters alone. Heck, this game feels like a celebration of Mario as a whole franchise. And the world map is so cool as it's in 3D and is fully explorable. There's so many cool levels too, like there's this one where you ride a dolphin in a Mario Kart styled race. And there's even a level based on the sunset levels from Donkey Kong Country Returns. Now unfortunately, as of the making of this video, the game is currently in a demo form and only World 1 is available, but I'm excited for whatever the game has left to offer. I recommend checking this game out. Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit takes the idea of what if Sonic Triple Trouble was released on the Sega Genesis rather than the Sega Game Gear, which results in what feels like an official continuation of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And this is a full-on game too, with 7 zones and 5 playable characters, with each zone having its own aesthetic, feel and mechanic, which is cool to see. And if you're playing as Sonic and Tails, you can even swap between them at any time, similar to Sonic Mania's Encore mode. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if some people actually thought this was an official game. That's how good this is. There's not much I can really say to compare the original game on Game Gear and this fan remake, as I haven't played the original game on Game Gear yet. So here's a comparison of someone playing the original versus me with this fan remake. So if you're a huge fan of classic Sonic and want a continuation of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, with the same love and care that was put into Sonic Mania, then this is the game for you. Project 06 is a recreation of Psycho 6 made in the Unity engine, and this isn't just a port of Psycho 6 in Unity, but it fixes all of the bugs that the original game had, making this the best way to play and experience Psycho 6. Crazy, I know. They even added some extra stuff that was cut from the game. Unfortunately, the game currently doesn't contain any of the campaigns, or missions, or hub worlds, or any of the bosses. I'm not sure if those will be added to Project 06, but I hope they do. But at least we have all of the levels from Sonic, Shadow and Silver's story, so you can pretty much play through the entirety of Psycho 6 from start to finish. Now I can't really compare Project 06 to the original game, as I don't even have the game or any means of playing it. Maybe that's a good thing, but it is very faithful to the original game, judging by gameplay videos. So if you want the best way to play and experience Psycho 6, minus the bosses and missions and the mountain of bugs, then I highly recommend checking out Project 06 as the way to play Psycho 6. I'm sure most, if not all of you who are watching this video know about Sonic Robo Blast 2, but for those that don't know, it's basically a different take on 3D Sonic that plays like the 2D games with more of a focus on momentum and speed. And the game gives off that vibe that it was made for the Sega Saturn or Dreamcast. The game's flow keeps you moving and on your toes, and it can make you pull off some incredible stunts. Fun fact, this is the oldest fan game here, as Sonic Robo Blast 2 has been in development since 1998. That's the same year that Sonic Adventure released for the Sega Dreamcast in Japan. Sonic Robo Blast 2 originally started out as whatever the hell this is, and has slowly been changing and evolving over the last 30 years. And the game isn't even finished yet. Despite that, you can still get to the end of the game, but the levels you play will probably be quite different in the future. The game also supports mods, and they're quite easy to add. Just download the mod, drag and drop into the game's add-on folder, and then open the add-ons menu in the game and you're all set to go. There's so many mods. Like, some mods I found had custom characters with their very own movesets. Like, I found one where modern Sonic has the boost and homing attack, just like in the modern games. I found a mod that had the fangame from Deltatraveler, who have different abilities. Like, Chris can attack in mid-air, Susie has the Rude Buster, and Rouse is more floating and can even pacify enemies. There's even a Metroid Prime styled Samus Aran, which allows you to play through the whole game as a first person shooter and with Samus's different abilities. Like, what? That's awesome! And there's even some custom levels that are available to download. I didn't download any of them though. Heck, people have even turned the game into a kart racer, which is actually quite fun, and that even has its very own mods, which is really cool. And wait a minute, there's a Persona mod? Okay, so we're in Tartarus and we just gotta get to the top, just like in Persona 3. Oh hey, there's a shadow. What the fuck? So yeah, not only can this game be its own full-on Sonic game, but it is a highly active platform for mods as well, which is exactly what I like to see. Please go check out Sonic Robo Blast 2 if you haven't already. It might just be the greatest fan game of all time. So imagine this. What if you had a game that combined Mario Maker with old school Mega Man? That's literally what Mega Man Maker is. You can make your very own Mega Man levels out of anything from any of the Mega Man games. Even the non-8-bit games like Mega Man 7, 8 and 11. And they even have their features transformed into 8-bit. Meaning you have absolute creative freedom to create your very own Mega Man level. I managed to make this level here. It's not good, and can definitely be better, but it should give you an idea of what you're able to make in this game. And the level editor is quite user-friendly as well. It was quite easy to get the different parts I needed. And of course, you can share and play other people's levels online, and the game has a very active community. I should also mention the gameplay, which is very accurate to classic Mega Man as well. It's actually kind of scary of how accurate it is. So if you're a huge Mega Man fan, I cannot recommend this game enough. It is literally Mario Maker, but Mega Man, and on PC, and I think it speaks for itself. It's awesome. Crash Bandicoot Back in Time is a love letter to the classic PS1 Crash Bandicoot games, with the same gameplay and level themes. The level design has the same amount of difficulty that the classic games had, and there's even some optional secret areas to find, which is pretty cool. They even added the flashback tapes and flashback levels from Crash 4, which is awesome. And what's this? You can make your very own Crash Bandicoot levels, and they have easy to understand UI and controls. Granted, they have to be in 2D, but still, that's amazing. I got to make this flashback style level that you're seeing here. However, I think that the level editor is the main selling point of the game, unless you're super nostalgic for the PS1 games, which I don't blame you. So if you want to scratch that itch for a new Crash Bandicoot game while we wait for the eventual Crash Bandicoot 5, and you want to make your own 2D Crash levels, similar to Mario Maker, then I recommend checking out Crash Bandicoot Back in Time. Frozen Heart takes place during the weird route of Deltarune Chapter 2, where Susie goes to check on Noelle, but Noelle isn't acting herself. So we have to take control of Susie and try and help Noelle. It's an interesting battle, which has multiple endings depending on how you end the fight. But the game features a what-if scenario, where what if Noelle went insane after the events of the weird route in Chapter 2? And this is where the main appeal of Frozen Heart is, well, for me at least. As you have a new boss fight with the Fangame and Queen trying to stop and save Noelle. Now the fight isn't too difficult. I was expecting a similar difficulty to Spamton's fight in the weird route, but surprisingly, no. Despite this, it's still a good fight, and the ending. Oh, the ending. I don't want to say what the ending is, so I highly recommend you play this game for yourself if you're a Deltarune fan. Okay, so back in 2021, when Deltarune Chapter 2 first released, you had these "God damn it, Chris, where the hell are we?" memes. Well, someone decided to turn that into a game, being Deltatraveler. Deltatraveler has Chris, Susie, and Noelle travel to a bunch of different places from literally anywhere. You have the typical location to go to, being Undertale, but then you get to go to other games like Earthbound. That's awesome! It's really cool being able to explore these worlds in a different way and interact with these characters. You even get to go to an Undertale AU, being an adaptation of Underfell, which is pretty cool and different. I should also mention the battle system, which is kinda different as it's a fusion between Undertale and Deltarune's battle systems, and it works surprisingly well. You still have the layout of Undertale's battle system, but you also have the party members with unique skills, you have TP to use said skills, and you can defend, just like in Deltarune. I also like how they kept the battle system when you go to Earthbound, and they even designed the enemies around the battle system, so they now have unique bullet patterns and ways of sparing them. If you don't want to play through the game for whatever reason, then there are side modes, like you can play Uno, which works just like how you'd expect it to, and can even get pretty intense sometimes. Or, you know, you can just play frickin' Mario Brothers. Like, how did they do this? Why is this here? Who cares? It's awesome. Now, as of the making of this video, the game is receiving a revamp of sorts to make the game better in a few places and to make it more in line with chapters 3 and 4 of Deltarune. So what you are seeing in this video is the classic version of the game, but still I cannot recommend this game enough. Like, seriously, if you are a massive Deltarune fan, you're missing out by not playing Deltatraveler. It's too good. So these are some examples of some great top tier high quality fan games that I really enjoyed and highly recommend. A few of these games felt a little bit official, which could be a good or bad thing depending on how you look at it. But for me, as long as the game is good and respects its respective franchise, then that's all that should matter. There are some fan games out there which are remakes of games, but with new and cool ideas, which I did talk about some of them here, and there's of course the joke and parody games, which I didn't talk about. So if there's a fan game that I didn't talk about here that you recommend that I or others should play, then be sure to let us know in the comments. I might even make a part 2 of this video. And of course, all of the games that I talked about in this video will be linked in the description if you want to go and play them for yourself. So yeah, fan games are cool and so are the communities. I don't know how to end this video. Wait, I didn't talk about any Pokemon or Five Nights at Freddy's fan games, did I? Damn it!
Hey, yo.